welcome back to my channel. My name is T and love all things skin and beauty, and today we're going to play with the other Natasha Denona palette, the soft palette. So I should have a video uploaded already where I was playing with the dramatic palette, and I had so much fun playing with this palette, especially the fact that it has a lot more of, Natasha Denona's special shades. And it's just a nice color story that can go with anything and any kind of style you prefer. Whether if you're soft glam, whether if you want to be, having some smoky eyes or a neutral, it just fits perfectly for everyone's personal makeup style that they like to use on the day-to-day or wear on the day-to-day. So I had so much fun playing with this palette. The only downside that I have is the fact that, again, Natasha Denona is doing that whole thing where she's trying to teach consumers how to use a shade for different things. And it's kind of like, again, similar to when she came out with the Glam palette. And then you kind of saw her naming each shade for what the shade should be like on whatever type of, area of the eye. Whether if it's like, crease or inner corner or like, it was just too much. And I think that's mainly the reason why people were kind of like taken aback and was just like, I don't know about Glam and palette, this is just too much. And so she's kind of doing it again, just a tad bit. Now she has came out with cards and kind of like giving you the section of like what each section of the eyeshadow palette represents. So you have crease, transition, brow bone shades, right? And then you have outer corner lash line. Then you got inner corner eyelid, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Yes, it makes sense for sure for this to be named that way. But what if your kind of like makeup style doesn't really, represent that? Like, what if you like to have fun and do like other things and use these shades for other things besides what Natasha Denona has labeled them to be used for? And lastly, you kind of have, the crease outer corner shades and then the outer corner lash line shades. So it's like, she's kind of taking a step back, kind of not, but like giving you like a wink with a card saying like, these are how these colors are supposed to be used for. And so I don't know. But then again, I'm like, for those who don't know how to do like eyeshadow and create eyeshadow looks, maybe this is going to be a very helpful one. I don't know if it's going to be the type of eyeshadow palette that everyone's going to gravitate towards when they're first starting out with makeup. When I started out with makeup, it was just drugstore, because that's all that I could afford. And I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on something that I'm just teaching myself. I don't know if I'm going to like, putting on makeup, or if that's going to fit my kind of lifestyle. And so it's like some of these brands kind of missed the mark in consumerism and, putting their, feet in other people's shoes, especially those who are beginners. I'm not going to pay like a $68 or whatever, how much this costs, but it's Natasha Denona, so it ain't cheap. Unless you go to Ulta and you save all your points, because with my points, like I said, I got this palette for like 34 using my points. And the other palette, the dramatic palette, I paid $12 because, again, I use my points. So I mean, it's whatever. It kind of like, it depends if it fits your lifestyle, right? So Do I still like the dramatic palette? Yes, I do like the color choices that Natasha Denona chose, and the way that she laid out the eyeshadow pans. However, for the soft one, and this is the soft one right here, it's more like a pale soft pink. This doesn't really have all of her special formulas, right? Like, you have satins, but most of them are like cream to powder mattes, and you know, those kind of like formulations. And then, you know, it's just it's nothing. I don't want to say that it's bland, but what I'm trying to say is that I would have loved for her to put more of her special shades in the palette, especially for the price point. If my thing is that if Dramatic had a lot more special shades, that palette should have been more than, you know, the soft palette, you know. And I think, again, speaking about consumers, we think, you know, like, we're reasonable human beings, right? We're not going to pay the same price for something that is lackluster in a way, you know. Like, if a palette is all of a sudden, you know, you continue to buy a palette because of, you know, the luxury feel to it, the formulation, the color story, the brand, and what the brand represents. And then next year, let's say you buy the exact same palette, but it's like a different color story, kind of like, you know, the Motherships, the Byredos, Tom Fords, all that stuff, right? However, you notice that the feel of the palette is different. It's not as heavy. It's not as luxe. It feels cheap, right? Then you look at the formula and you notice it's the same price, but there are some formulas that are missing that you loved from the palette and from the brand. And that's the reason why you have been loyal enough to continue to purchase from the brand, right? Then that's going to kind of turn you off, right? Because it's like, I'm paying the exact same amount, but I'm getting less quality. That's kind of like how it's giving in a way now. When you look at other brands and their previous work, and then you look at some of their launches now, it's getting mediocre. It's getting a little mediocre for some brands, not all, but some. But enough of a tangent. I'm going to start putting on my base. This is not supposed to be a makeup yap video, but I'm going to quickly put on my base, tell you all the things that I've used, and this time I'm going to use the other CoverGirl blush shade that I got. I think in my last video, which I'll also link up here, there should be a card somewhere, but I played with the other shade, which is Berry Punch. And then I also played with the bronzer. Today, I'm still going to play with the bronzer, even though, you know, I don't know. I'm not so sure about the formula. But this time, what's going to be new is I'm going to try the Mother Fluffer Bronzer by Wet n Wild. So this should be really fun. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. Get ready with me. All right, so far I have used the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder Skin Tint in 8.5 for foundation. I then went in with my Lancôme Tint Idôle concealer. And obviously I use my Lancôme Fix It and Forget It setting spray. This is pretty much kind of like in my stash where I'm just like panning this. So That's mainly the reason why I'm not really using the Danessa Myricks setting spray. I love that setting spray too. That setting spray is amazing. If you are, because I'm dry and dehydrated, but I can say this for sure. If you are a oily skin type kind of girl or boy, get that setting spray. Get that setting spray. That setting spray held down my whole makeup when I was at like Comic-Con. Like, hello? Danessa Myricks is a genius. That's what I have to say. That's what I have to say. But yes, I use that. I haven't put any powder on yet. Since I am, and I don't normally do this, but since it's Wet and Wild, right? Hear me out. I want to give it a chance, and I feel like if I go straight in with powder first for like my under eyes and all that stuff, that it might affect the formula. I know that not all formulations like this would work with powder. You know what I mean? Not all formulas work with powder, or you know, but oh, this is kind of cute. Wait a minute, this does look like the Fui. I think that's how you say the brand's name. Look how cute it is. it's so tiny. Like, it's so tiny. I'm gonna need, see, that's one thing I didn't think about when getting this, but curiosity got me, is how am I gonna get a brush that could fit in this pot? Maybe I could try this City Grace brush. I'll try this brush. Okay, so it's kind of moussey, as you can, I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of like moussey, like airy. Ooh, interesting. I don't know. It's like that's the word, moussey. Yeah, moussey. I hope I didn't put a lot on the brush, but we're just gonna, or maybe I should, let me go in the back of my hand. This oh my god, this is kind of like, ooh, I don't know about this. This is definitely not my shade. This is definitely not it. And this is, I think this is the deepest shade. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Is it just me? Can I make this work? I don't know if I can make this work. Is it the brush? I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. This is definitely not going to work. So that is a fail. That is definitely a fail. I want to say it might be the deepest, but I have to see. Maybe they don't have all their shades online. Yeah, this is a bust. I'm going to then, I guess, go in with my Makeup by Mario and pretty much call it a day, call it a loss. I know when to like stop when it comes down to like trying to make a product work. That did not show up at all. That blended into the skin and disappeared. So I guess I could take the same brush, I guess, and just go in with my Makeup by Mario. This is why I try to stand clear from, you know, new makeup releases until I see reviews. But, you know, because I'm a consumer too, you know, I want to make sure that I am saving my money. You know, I hope this doesn't like disturb like the powder or how everything is going to come out. I guess I can put blush over it, but it just kind of sucks because I was honestly really intrigued and interested in the formulation, just because it's taking inspiration from a South Korean beauty brand that has been very popular with their blushes and stuff. And I've seen like they have a lot of like great shades and different choices you can choose from that fit different undertones, which is not often that you see in K-beauty brands in general. Like you don't really see that coming from like a makeup brand. Like maybe like Innisfree back in the day, but like when Innisfree was like really popular and like Innisfree like first got into Sephora, like that was a time. And now it's like, I don't know, I feel like they're stepping up because they're noticing that K-beauty brands are actually really like popular here in the States. And so I guess they're putting budget forward to cater to the demographic over here. But Wet n Wild, I'm gonna need you to figure something out with that bronzer, because I'm gonna see if I can find another shade. But it's like I kind of wanted it to work, and I don't know if I will ever be able to make it work if I were to get another shade. Because like also the shade range, I think it's only like 5. Is it just 5? Y'all need to do better with the shade range. Like, I mean, y'all are a drugstore. Oh my god. That's how Wet n Wild always used to be though. Like there would be like a product that they would come out with, and like this is when I was like drugstore heavy. Like when I mean drugstore heavy, I mean drugstore was the only thing I could afford. So it was like Wet n Wild, Black Radiance, CoverGirl, Maybelline, L'Oreal, those brands, right? And then you have like the Nika K one. I think that's how you Nika K New York, the brand that you would see in like the beauty supply store. Ruby Kisses. Oh god. And like to get your shade back in the day, man, was a struggle. It was a struggle until like Iman came and created like her own like line. You saw a chance there with like some of the shades. Is Iman's is her line still like at the drugstore? I don't know. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name right and that I'm saying the name of the brand correctly, but I'll probably put it somewhere in the video. But that was a nice good shade range. That was nice. That was cute. But now some of these brands need to learn from other like drugstore brands, I feel, and I think one of them might be Wet n Wild to learn from their the brands that are in their category that are actually doing great, shade ranges, but that's just not it. All right, I think since we are playing with the coral shade this time, I'm gonna go in with Makeup by Mario's. I think there's like a coral shade that I have. Yeah, soft coral. I'm gonna go in with that. And I could take that brush that I was using before and wipe it down with a microfiber towel. That was interesting to use that, but I normally don't use a brush that small for bronzer, but I didn't want to waste some of the product that was already on there. Like, it was already used. Like, I have so many brushes I still have to wash. Like, I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm wiping this brush now. We're gonna use this again for blush. Oh God. Oh, I tell ya. All right. So, soft coral. We're gonna put this on kind of slightly on top of the cream bronzer, just slightly. Yeah, I don't normally use, but here we are. Here we are. One thing I do like about their Makeup by Mario's cream blushes and bronzer sticks is that they're really creamy and you can really build them up. Okay, it's doing pretty well so far with the the other products that I'm already laying down already. Like, it's not really disturbing too much with what was already placed, because also I have to make sure I get ready because I have an early morning meeting today, so ain't no way I'm going to just like randomly take it off and like do everything over again. Like, no, it is fine. I work from home anyways, so it's not like people are going to like be all up in there in my pores. But it, I think it's not really like, you don't really see that I laid the Wet n Wild hair anymore, because again, it blended in my skin and evaporated. So and I don't know how I like about that formula either. I feel like it would come off, like if that shade did work on me, based off of the formula and how it was looking and how I had to like blend it out in the back of my hand right here, I think it would have came out patchy. I don't know. Like, I've tried a bunch of formulas and I always have a feeling about like some products that I be testing out, or whether or not if they might end up being patchy, and like sometimes they do. So I don't know about that formulation. But now we're gonna move on to powder. I'm going to use this bronzer that, again, I think I told y'all how I felt about the bronzer, but I kind of want to get a slight denser brush. Oh, maybe this could work. Wait a minute. Maybe not. No, I feel like that would be too much. I think this is fine. Yeah, I could probably use this. Let's see how this brush works. How soft. Again, it is powdery. That's one thing. It is powdery. It's much more glittery and shimmery than the Hourglass formula. Like, you will see some sparkles here and there. So, just a heads up about that. Is it close enough to Hourglass? I would say the blushes are a lot more closer, slightly, but not the bronzer. At least not the one that I'm using. Which one am I using? Sweet Espresso. I'm using. I mean, if you want to you know, have less of the sparkles there, then you can go on with a nice soft brush like this. That's just going to softly pick up the powder and then place it on the cheeks like this. I think that would be a great technique if you don't want the sparkles, because you are going to get sparkles. But I'm noticing with this, and this is why I picked a different brush from last time, is I want to pick up the powder a little bit softer, and then just carefully build it up. And I'm noticing that there's honestly less shimmers here. There's less shimmers, so that might be a go-to, especially if, you know, you're just interested in like having a dupe, because, you know, we all know Hourglass and their prices, right? So then that might be an alternative to use a brush like this, which the brush that I'm currently using is the 03 powder brush from the Sephora collection. It's the one with like the lime color line and the white bottom on top. It comes with a set. I'll be sure to link it. But this is a good brush for this kind of formula. And I don't really need too much because, like, again, I did put Makeup by Mario's cream bronzer or Sculpt stick, cream stick. So I would say I think I'm good now. I liked that more using that brush than last time. So I think I used a different brush for this. I think I used the BK, like a BK beauty brush for that last time. All right, and now I can honestly turn to the other side, or I can, like, you know, wipe the same brush down. We gonna use the same brush because I already have enough brushes to wash. So yes, so I'm gonna take some here. And yeah, I think this is perfect to use a brush like this for the bronzer and for the blush too. I do think they will both work, as you can see right here, right? And now putting the powder on, yeah, it's good. Like, you can't really tell, and it's because, like, you couldn't really see the Wet n Wild formula. Like, when I tell you it disappeared on me, man. It was like, I'm not here. Like, I know you put that on me, but I'm not here. I'm not here at all. It's like, damn. Well, I mean, at least it's drugstore, I guess. I don't know if I'll probably give it to a friend or something. Like, I don't know if I'm always cautious when I return things, because I don't know if they'll end up in a landfill somewhere. And I hate doing that. I hate returning things. And so I normally give it to friends, or I give it to my sister, my neighbors, you know, like, so it can have like a second home. I just feel better if I do it that way, because it just, I don't know what's going to happen to it if I were to return it, you know. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to give it to someone instead of returning it. But now moving on, I'm going to go in with powder underneath my under eyes, some setting powder, and we're going to move on to the eyeshadow palette. All right, so I'm back. The powders that I used was Laura Mercier, this powder here. It is the Translucent Loose Setting Powder Ultra Blur in medium deep. This is also in my stash. I'm trying to use some of my palettes more, which is why I am in a no powder buy. I also use the Sephora Universal shade, the only shade of the 12-hour setting and mattifying powder. I know I love this thing. As soon as I discovered it, listen, I got this pan keeps getting bigger and bigger. I think I might have to repurchase at least this because this powder is good. So, you know, Sephora, if you're into a powder that's very mattifying, that melts into the skin, that lasts all day, this is for you. This is for you. Yeah, so those are the powders that I used. I think that's pretty much it with the base. I also did my eyebrows. I went in with the Sephora Fluff and Fix Brow Wax. And I also used their eyebrow pencil. And this is waterproof and it is in the shade Chocolate Brown. Also in my stash. Moving on to the eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to quickly put on my primer and we're going to get into this palette. All right, I went in with the NYX primer as always. Everything will be linked in the description box below. All right, so basically it's the same exact format, right? And also I noticed that this is clear on this side, which is really nice. It is heavy. It does have the holes in the back so you can take out pans and rearrange them and whatnot. And I also love that pretty much all of her palettes come with a big size mirror. Taking this off, so satisfying. All right, and this is pretty much the palette. This is what we are going to work with. I'm thinking I'm definitely going to try a satin. It might be C1 and maybe N1. I think there's only like 3 satin shades in this palette. And then everything else is like, you know, the mattes and the cream to powder mattes, because I can see, you could kind of like tell from like how the pans look. So like these look like they're, you know, the cream to powder formula because of how they look. So I might go in with C3 or W3, just because I don't want it to be too smoky, just because I have some, you know, client meetings. So that's what I'm thinking. This is what I have down in, you know, the back of my mind of the shades that I want to try. And so we are going to see if we can achieve that. So I'm going to take my Refer brush. This is in 14 Max. I'm going to go in with C3. And this is, again, I believe this is their cream to matte, cream to powder. So with these shades, this needs a lot more loving, because I've noticed they're a little bit more stiffer and they go on darker. So that's why I'm just blending this out here in the crease on the outer corner. And like once you really use Natasha Denona's, you know, formula, you can kind of like maneuver and like figure out exactly how to use a shade, because you can pretty much tell the difference between, again, her cream to powder matte shades versus the regular mattes, which, you know, let me get this, because this really explains, again, you know, the whole, like, you know, special name of the formulas that, you know, all these brands are coming out with. So you have the slip matte, the slip cream matte. All right, so I just put on a slip cream matte. Just call it cream matte or cream to powder matte. Oh my god. Then there are 8 silky mattes. Silky mattes. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of like tell the difference, because like her regular mattes are much more easier to maneuver around the eyelid. So I guess that's why they're called silky mattes. And then we have, again, 3 satin metallic eyeshadows. So yeah, I'm definitely going to use C1 and probably N1. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. All right. Yeah, so I just put on one of the cream mattes, and now I'm gonna do it on the other side. And again, you only need a slight dab, just like a slight dab, because they go in on the eyelid very pigmented, and they appear a lot darker. So far, I like this shade. I like that shade that I started off with, which is C3. C3, we love. All right, next I'm thinking, and I'm gonna use the same exact brush, but I'm thinking about going in with either W2 or W1. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm also trying to see if I can locate the other satin, because you can tell, like, the C1 and N1, those are satins. Where's the third one? That's what I want to know, because I don't want to go into it unless it's N3. Is it N3? Is it N2? It might be N2. Yeah, I think it's M2, because that's the only shade that has an M next to it. So it's in, yeah, it's N2. So N2 is, so they have like a slight black satin. So it is this one right here, which is interesting, an interesting choice. Any hoodle, we're going to go in with W2 now that I know exactly where those satins are, because I would be pissed if I went in with a satin and thought it was like a matte. So I'm going to take this shade, I'm going to go on top slightly where like the crease in the transition shade is, to slightly, you know, lighten and blend the first shade that I used, because I don't want this to be too smoky. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I like this nice little warm brown shade. This is nice. And I think this is also, I think it's a silky matte. Yeah, it's a silky cream matte, right? Silky some of the way that it's coated with these is like, oh my god. Yeah, this is a slip cream matte that I just used. All right, so I haven't touched the silky ones just yet, but maybe in the next look, maybe I will. But so far, I've been just digging into the slip cream matte formula, which is, again, it's such a weird name to name your formula, but okay. Now that I'm done, I'm going to put, do I honestly need glitter primer? Maybe. I'm just going to put it on, but I'm going to go in with the satins next. So let me just put this glitter primer. Yeah, I think, like I said before, I definitely want to go in with the C1 shade. But first, let me try out the N1 shade, which looks like this. And we're just gonna put it a little bit towards where the outer corner is, but slightly in the middle as well. Oh, okay, that's okay. I mean, I prefer a little bit more shine. This is probably for someone who wants more of a softer look, who doesn't really go towards, you know, metallics or glitters or the sparklies kind of shades. This is like a soft satin. It gives you just enough shine to the eyelid. It is also a gorgeous shade, I must say. But again, it's the formulation here in this one, I feel it's lacking for someone who is like a Natasha Denona collector and loves everything about the brand. And the formulas, it's, you know, it's not bad. I will say that. It's not bad. It's a nice little satin shade. Alright. And now I'm moving on with the C1. Now this is C1. So I think this would be really, really shiny on the inner corner, you know, mixing just slightly with N1. All right, I'm gonna go in with the Refer number 2 brush and dip into C1. Ooh. Okay. That's interesting. This is definitely, and like maybe it's because it's like a light satin, but it's definitely opening up the eyelids and giving it a lot more shine. Just a lot more shine. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. All right, going on the other side. Oh, this is nice. Okay. I still prefer her, you know, metallics and, you know, but this will do. One thing that I've also noticed is I don't think these have duochromes in here. That's one thing that I've noticed. And I guess the price point would be like you have more shades, but it's like still there is something lacking with the formula choices here. So I don't know. All right, this is a great look that I created. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. As you can see, I'm not mad at it. I do want to slightly go in with N3 and kind of go on top of the lash line just a tad bit. Yeah, I think that is perfect. Yeah. All right, I think I am done now. I'm gonna put on mascara, do my lips, and close out this video. All right, this is the final look. So I did my lashes. On my lips, I have the NYX lip liner. This is in Cocoa. Very creamy, very smooth. I have to get some more NYX. I'm always using Juvia's, or I'm using Fashion Fair, but mostly Juvia's. And I know they came out with a new lip liner formula. This time it's like I don't know. It's just nothing comes off. Apparently, nothing comes off. Might get that. I don't know. I like to take my time when I'm doing my makeup. So that means I have to rush to make sure everything is like blended in, because once it's like stuck, it's stuck until you have to take your makeup off. And I don't know how I feel about that. So we'll see. But I went in with that, and then I went in with my Makeup by Mario. This is their lip gloss, Pro Volume lip gloss in Rose Nude. And that is what I have on my lips. I definitely remember loving these, so I brought it out of my stash, and I am very much happy with the fact that I am continuing to play with, you know, my stash, and, you know, use what I have in my collection. But yeah, that's that. Now, I will say, so with this palette, good selection of, you know, neutrals and warm and cool tones, right? I haven't played with this side too much here. The ones that have, like, you know, the pinks and the yellows, and, you know, they're much more you know, red leaning, kind of like pink and yellow leaning type of, you know, mattes. I haven't tried those just yet. One downside that I will have to say with this is that, you know, with this formula and with this like color choice for a soft, they're not going to get a lot of her formulas that she is known for. They don't have, you know, dual chromes or anything like that. They're just regular satins. One thing that is my pet peeve though, and this is kind of like how I felt a little bit with Danessa Myricks too in her palette, is that you have some of these like prestige brands who are in Sephora, who are, you know, well known, right? They get inspiration from indie makeup brands, and then they call the formula a different name. And so it just confuses the crap out of me. And I think for me, as someone who's like really into like indie brands, like I have a notoriously morbid palette that is in my mailbox that I ordered in September. like I go hard for indie brands, especially when they're giving top tier quality as always, and creativity, and just you know, they show joy in that they love makeup, right? And I know like a duochrome, like the duochrome, multichrome, multichrome, foil, foil, shimmer, metallic, right? Total different names. So I'm confused. I'm like, I thought this was a multichrome. It's not a multichrome. It's a multichrome metallic, but it's not named that. It's so confusing. So when I was playing with Natasha Denona's palette, it's like the same thing. It's like the name changes of like their formula and how they named their formula to make their brand original, which like I love Natasha Denona. I love her formulas. I do. But just call a cream to matte, a cream to matte, or a cream to powder, cream to powder matte. Don't be saying slip cream matte. Why? Because like it's just a cream to powder matte. Like, what are you doing? It's the exact same. I feel like some of her formulas may have changed, but then again, like with this, like I feel like there's no difference with like the cream matte, except for like maybe the names of it, but it's like the same exact formula. And so I'm like wondering, okay, has she always named her, you know, formulas like this? Because normally I just call it a cream to powder matte, because that's what it is. It's like, sure, you can call it a slip cream matte, but like still, come on now. And then you have the silky mattes, which I know like that makes sense. Like for Natasha Denona, I know that. And then you have the satin metallic eyeshadows, which is it metallic? Right? It feels like it's just like a satin. Like sure, there's like some shine there, but it's not like a metallic. Like, and I guess maybe it's because it's more shiny than normal satins that she would use for her formulas or other brands. But just call it the way that it is. That's the only thing that is like my pet peeve about like this release is the, you know, the names of the formulas and that freaking card of showing you the layout of what each color is used for. Just let people play with makeup. Let people play with makeup and have fun. That's all. Other than that, I enjoyed playing with the palette. I enjoyed my look that I did with the dramatic palette, and also enjoyed the look that I created with the soft palette, right? I'm gonna have to play some more with these and give you my final thoughts. So I'm thinking about doing like 2 looks for each of these palettes, just because I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes to get to. And I think I have 2 palettes that Notoriously Morbid just finally sent over to my house. Okay, I ordered this in September. It has came now. And like, I know it's Notoriously Morbid. They're a small brand. I'm still going to continue to support, even though like when they launch it, it's already old news. But like for me, like this is my channel, right? I want to, you know, provide the content that I want to provide for my channel and what I love. And I'm not the one to like hop on trends or to hop on to, you know, making sure that I get my video up before everyone else on like a new release or whatever. One thing is like everything is self-invested. I purchased these, you know, products with my own money. I don't get no PR, all right? I don't get no gifts. I don't get nothing, all right? This is something that if I'm interested, if I want to learn more, if I think a product is intriguing and I want to showcase this on my channel, then I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? But also, I'm trying to start this year kind of like with a slightly no buy. I'm trying not to buy any more palettes. I already broke that rule because I ordered the Byredo palette, which I knew I was going to get. It just that it released earlier than normal. But again, yeah, I'm trying to get into the habit of using my own stash, using the products that I have, because I have a lot of products. I have a big collection as a consumer and a lover of makeup. I am a makeup hoarder. And so for me, like, I think this channel at the beginning was created to shop my stash, to do get readies with me, to do makeup and yaps, to talk about what's going on in the beauty industry, and to also talk about skincare, fungal acne, my journey with fungal acne. And so that's why I have a blog, which is now a Substack, which, by the way, I'm still working on that list for fungal acne safe, you know, makeup products like primers, concealers, foundations, powders, setting spray. It's a lot of products to get to that I've noticed. It's a lot, but it will be coming soon. I don't know if it's going to come this month. I might have to upload another Substack about a different topic, because I do want to make sure that I'm producing, you know, content on Substack at least once a month. We'll see how that goes. But again, it's like very extensive, like, you know, going into the research and everything, and making sure that I take notice of the other products that are no longer available that were fungal acne safe, but now they're reformulated, or they're just gone. They're just gone. And I'm also seeing that too in the beauty industry, where, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But apparently y'all love fixing it and reformulating it. Sometimes, you know, a fungal acne safe product gets reformulated and they're not fungal acne safe no more. And so it's like, you know, we have to find another holy grail that was once in the fungal acne community. It's really hard to find like foundations, just makeup and skincare in general that's fungal acne safe. Very, very hard. And so that is also another reason why I have this blog and why I have this, you know, channel. And so if you're interested in that, if you love that, if you love to hear that, if you love to see and you know, watch a regular human being who is a consumer and a lover of makeup, and is not going to just sell you everything, and who is honest and real about the products that they're testing out, then please stay, subscribe, hit that bell, give this a like, give this a comment. Let's have a conversation about it. I would love to hear your thoughts about what's going on in the beauty space, the new releases, about luxury brands all of a sudden not giving luxury when it comes to new releases. Just saying. And about, you know, some of the downfall that's happening with some of these brands, and also about, you know, the things that are just happening around the beauty space. Like, I would love to hear your thoughts and let me know what you want me to talk about, because I'm also thinking about doing, you know, archive videos where I do a get ready with me. I go through like an old eyeshadow palette, I talk about it, and I do a look. So I think that's something that will help me, you know, really shop my stash and use some of the, you know, especially the palettes that I already have. Like, I have a lot of palettes that I can get to. So if you would love that, if you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. And again, love yourself, be kind to yourself, and love your skin. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.